Jonathan here. Today I wanted to make a video because for the past month or past few weeks, I should say, I've been working on a trailer for the game, The Grand Block Odyssey, and I want to share what I've been learning out of it and all of that because I didn't feel like there was a lot of resource out there to help me do it. So I felt that maybe if I do a video about how I did it myself, it might help other people also do their own trailer. So first of all, I had different goals in mind when I started to make the trailer, and I'm going to explain which one those goals were. And then I'm going to be showing off all the different processes I've been going through. So you'll see multiple versions of the trailer, and then I'll show at the end the last version I got, and then I'll tell you what I'm going to be working on until the official trailer is out. So one of the goals with the trailer itself was that I wanted to have a very transportable medium of showing off my game very quickly. So I want to have something that I can show off to people because screenshots are nice, but I guess video can give a little bit more, um, can put people a little bit more into the game and understand a little bit more about it. I also wanted to keep the trailer less than 60 seconds because I think a trailer needs to be as short of that because otherwise people lose. I also wanted to have at least, or at most, each scenes had to be on screen for at most 6 seconds. So nothing could be on screen more than 6 seconds. It always had to transition to something else just to keep the dynamic aspect of the trailer there. And then the goal was also to iterate on it. So there was no first time version. It always had to go and work on it. And I guess I should have started that while I started working. But just to let you guys know, I've been also streaming the process on Twitch. So you can see me struggle while I do it. And it's not always super clear how I do it when I stream. But at the end, I feel like I got somewhere that is very interesting. So if you guys are interested, please tuning into the Twitch and you'll see all of the development all the time, whether it's a trailer, whether it's the storyline, whether it's the programming aspect. I try to document all of it over Twitch. So to start up very quickly, um, what I started to do, and it's super silly, but is I started creating a PowerPoint presentation out of it. So nothing too fancy. I just created 10 slides of 6 seconds each, so you can see 0 to 06, 06 to 12. This one jumps around because I moved it after the fact, but I pretty much created 10 different slides and show off all of the different things I want to have in there. So very simple, I create this, showed it off to a few people just to get the overall feedback. So you can see here the scene is not super clear, but I could explain to those people that, oh, I want to show off all the different mechanics and that a door will open when the puzzle is solved. So this will be the focus of it. Then, for example, there will be an alarm system that will be there. So I just took a screenshot of the assets I've bought and put some red overlay on it with some alarm system on it. And then I keep going through that the same way that I did in the trailer itself. So what we did the first time was open up Adobe Elements. So I bought Adobe Elements in order to make this trailer. I've had used Elements before, and I think it's pretty simple of a software to begin with. And so I took this one, and it's also pretty cheap. I think it cost me like $60 Canadian dollar also to be able to get that. So you see we have all the different scenes here, we have all the different cuts, and it goes off for pretty much a minute. I don't want to show off the version directly on it, but every different version have been done on that, and I've been uploading my finished iteration on YouTube all the time in an unlisted YouTube video so that I could share with people I know without it being public. So I mean, somebody could technically find the link, but that doesn't bother me too much. So we're going to go and look at each of the different versions that we've had, and I'll try to document what I've been receiving as feedback and how it was overall. So the very first one is here, and you can see that I was still using the trial version. So when I exported it, it had this ugly banner, but that doesn't matter. Like my friends that are going to be reviewing it don't need to, like it doesn't matter whether it has that or that. So I just decided to go with it and see what people would think of. So we can see first version had 54 seconds of length. And you'll see that it was very rough cut. And yeah, I'm recording the audio. I just want to make sure that the level is okay. So you'll see that the audio is cutting off. There's nothing that has been done on the audio side, and as also streaming the process. So there will be part where there was music in it. But we're recreating what we had in the PowerPoint, keeping roughly 6 seconds in each of those sections before a scene change. more or less. Like, it's not perfect, but at least it gives you a very good overview. And that's where we have the music coming on. Like the ugly cut there is there, and that's all it is. But still gives like a very good overview of what the video will be and how it will look like, how it will feel. And then I use like this ugly splash screen at the end just to show off where I would put this information. This definitely was changing, but that's where we are. So very quickly, the feedback that we had on that was that it started getting interesting only in the 22nd second. All of it before that was more like a tutorial running around. Doesn't feel like very interesting. So there was not a lot of action happening. Obviously, the sound was off. People still pointed it out, but obviously this was going to change. And it also felt like there was a lot of alarm systems, so it felt like very heavy. And also, people mentioned that there should be a crash when the planet comes and crashes. Well, when the spaceship crashes on the planet, you should have a sound on it. So I did not act on every of those, but I still played with this version, tried to do the editing a little bit sharper around the edges so that it's not as empty between all of the different shots, and also added music, added the sound, making sure that it moves a little bit better so you can see now what it will look like. So the music cues after the intro, and then we do pretty much the same thing overall at the beginning. So nothing was really changed there. This part is still a little bit slow. And here, one of the comments that I received is that the timers are not super stressful, right? We have 35 second, 25 second, and there's not an effect of stress that the puzzle normally should have. And here again, nothing happens and we just transition off. I feel like the music still gives like a very nice finish to the product, much more than just having random cuts of sound. So it helped me iterate to the next version because now I had a feeling of something that was going well. So roughly the same scenes, just edited a little bit differently, having music, the same outro. Well, the outro doing a little bit better, not in the background we had where there was a few childs there. Version number 3 is where it's starting to be very nice, in my opinion. So we're back down to 54 seconds. And I showed this one off to a little bit more people, so I actually made this Trade Republic on a few stream on Twitch because I asked for feedback from people. Here again, it's the same thing, but now we can see that the blocks now have like 2-3 seconds left, so it's much tighter in terms of stress that it gives the player. Also, you can see that the editing on the music always changes at a specific beat. So the fact that the audio was synced up with the beat of the music makes the transition so much better to feel. They don't feel offsetting, they just are natural. So that's version 3, and I showed it off, and roughly the feedback that we got there is the music is really repetitive. So for 54 seconds, it's almost always the same beat. And pretty much after the planet crash that we have here, we don't really change the tempo. It's pretty much the same thing. We just show more scenes and all of that. But most people expected either a crash. Again, this was mentioned in the first versions, but I still didn't act on it. And they expected a faster tempo. After the crash, something else would be different, more like faster scenes and all of that, maybe more text. And some people were also commenting on music, maybe should be more active, less active. Even someone pointed out maybe using some chill steps, so chill dubstep. And so version 4 actually takes all of this and try to put it in one. It was not a polished trailer, it was just an experiment about that took maybe 10-15 minutes to put in together. But I still want to show it off so that you guys can see the progress around it. So we have roughly the same scenes here. It might need to be a little bit tighter. This scene is still very slow in my opinion. It needs to be put in a faster mood. But that's here where you really have a different tempo with the music happening. These scenes that are very short, about 2 seconds each, before transition to the next section, and then it just goes off to the back, to the end scene. So now we have roughly a 40-second trailer instead of having a 1 minute trailer, which is very nice. Also, most of it, like the last 10 seconds almost, are the text. So that's it. That's the progress we've done so far. I really like the feeling about the dubstep. I don't know if it's the actual song that we're going to use. I just want to experiment with it and see how it really had an impact on the trailer itself and the feeling of it. And obviously, after the crash, the fact that the music changes really changes the atmosphere, and also the tempo is much more fast paced because it doesn't need to be introduced in a very short way that way. So we're going to be reworking on the higher tempo. The scenes were just chosen randomly and were not recorded for that particularly. We also need to make sure that we find the proper song, we have all the correct license for doing it, and then we'll be revealing it on January 18 as an official trailer, and we might be able to start sharing that with other people as well. So I hope this was useful for you guys. I really felt like there was no resource out there to show how people are actually making trailers. And all of the different things I've seen was that you need to keep your trailer short. You need to make sure that it keeps interesting. And even though I knew all of those things, I still did some very bad first implementation of this aspect. But as I do more iteration, it really gets more and more interesting. So stay tuned for January 18. Where I'll be releasing the video. If you're interested into seeing it, please follow, subscribe to whatever channel you're listening this to, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a great one, everyone.